what I love about Coldplay is they are always thinking how to change or to improve, and it's a pleasure to be in that environment.
Wir haben angefangen vor 2 Tagen, sprich am Dienstag. Die Bauzeit beträgt auch 2 Tage. Heute ist 3. Tag. Es ist heute Advanced Production Tag, das heißt, die Vorbereitung für die eigentliche Showproduktion ist heute angesagt. Im Hintergrund laufen die Rigging-Arbeiten dafür. Es werden die Lifting Beams installiert, wo später mal die Screens hängen werden. Und das wird heute auch noch so bis 16 Uhr, circa mal 17 Uhr wird hier alles abgeschlossen sein heute.
Bei Sonderanfertigungen, und Coldplay ist eine Sonderanfertigung, ist keine Bühne von der Stange, ist ein großer Anteil von Sonderteilen mit dabei. Das Verhältnis dürfte ungefähr 60-40 sein. Das heißt, 60% ist Standardmaterial, Material, das wir überall verwenden können, auf jeder Bühne verwenden können. Und 40% sind wirklich speziell für Coldplay angefertigte Teile, die nur für dieses Design produziert wurden. Die werden auch danach auch nicht mehr weiter verwendet. Es gibt ja sowas wie ein Urheberrecht. Dann wird das Ding irgendwo geparkt und dann vielleicht irgendwann mal wiederverwendet, wenn die Tour wieder vielleicht so auf Tour geht.
Die Coldplay Tour wird ja in dem Sinne mit 3 Sets gefahren, sprich das sind 3 baugleiche Bühnensets sozusagen. Gestern war die Show in Warschau oder vorgestern, heute ist die Show hier. Deswegen verschiedene Sets, weil ja die Abfolge recht dicht aneinander ist, der verschiedenen Shows.
Warum machen wir das? Warum müssen wir das so machen? Wir können ja nicht irgendwie morgens ins Stadion gehen und dann sagen Knopfdruck und dann steht die Bühne. Wir brauchen ein bisschen Zeit. In der Regel 3 Tage. 3 Tage, bis so eine Bühne mit 10 Sattelzügen, das entspricht ungefähr 200 Tonnen Material, aufgebaut wird. Wir brauchen Hilfsmittel, wir brauchen Leute vor Ort, wir brauchen Kräne und Stapler. In 3 Tagen wird das Ding also aufgebaut, dann ist ein Produktionstag und dann ist ein Showtag und in einem Tag abgebaut. Vielleicht sollte man sich das so vorstellen, wir bauen ein Reihenhaus, ein ganz, ganz großes Haus innerhalb von 3 Tagen auf und innerhalb eines Tages ab. Es ist immer die gleiche Bühne, das heißt 3 Sets. Wenn die von Coldplay jetzt nach Amerika gehen oder nach Australien oder Neuseeland, dann wird das verschifft. Das heißt, das ganze Material wird in Container gepackt, dann rübergefahren und dann wird es dort wieder aufgebaut. Es wird also keine neue Bühne irgendwo im anderen Erdteil konzipiert, sondern es wird genau auf die Bühne zurückgegriffen, die bereits existiert. Ist billiger insgesamt.
Video's everything. But I would say that because I'm head of department, I'm the video director, so video is everything to me. No, it's a visual. It's a complete visual look. It's sound do sound. Obviously, they're the engine of the whole machine. But between lighting, video, and pyrotechnics, it's a look. We all merge with each other to make sure that we've got the right light at the right time, we've got the right video at the right time, we've got the right pyrotechnics, and it's a visual look. It's not, I don't consider it as one separate department. I consider it as 3 departments all doing their jobs at the same time to make sure it looks fantastic.
We have 5 circular LED screens, and I run 2 live catalysts with a triple head to go on the output, which means that each catalyst has 3 outputs. So you get 5 screens in total, and I have a spare one, which was in the arenas. We had an extra 6th screen, which was the 360 for the rear. So it gives me the possibility to have a separate output for every one of the screens. And also each one of the catalysts has 6 video inputs. So I take each one of the camera feeds in, which gives us the ability to put each band member on a different screen. So for some of the show, for instance in Viva La Vida, we have the drummer Will who's hitting the timpani in the middle screen, and then Andy Bramley's video cut on the outside 2 screens. And then also in other tracks we will put graphics on some of the screens and video cut on the others.
We use content within about, I suppose, 7-8 different songs. These have all been put together by graphics companies, various graphics companies we've used. I mean, we've been on the road for a year and a half now, and we change as we go. New ideas come in and old ideas go out. But yeah, it's about 7-8 songs there's content in, and it just enhances the visuals, the camera visuals I have. I have 8 cameras. I have 1 on stage, 3 in the pit, 2 outside, 4 in the pit, sorry. I have 2 outside on the front house, and then I have a thing called a pole cam that gets up and over the top of the band. It's worked very, very well. We've stepped up our game, or video has stepped up their game as the band step up their game. We've got to be on board or we get left behind. So we've got to be on board, and it's all worked beautifully. It's been fantastic. We've done some of the best shows I've ever seen in my life. So yeah, it's been great. It's been great. We've had a nice time.
It's been quite an evolution, actually. Before the tour started, we got some images from the band. The band sent us some photos of things they liked about some graffiti artists that they had been looking at, some specific artists who were more incorporated in using different surfaces rather than the specific art. It was about an expression of yourself on walls, and we kind of took that away and looked at that. And then they also had the fuzzy man, the walking man, which is the core image for all of the tour, and everything kind of based around that. Now from that fuzzy man, we took the color palette, and then the color palette became the base for everything else. So all the graffiti you see is based around that color palette. So we took that off, and most of it is driven by Phil Harvey because he's the creative director, and he's had a lot of ideas about how the video should look. So from that base of a color and the kind of idea of the animation, that's given us a base to go on. And then also each one of the album tracks has its own symbol. A lot of this is, the concept of graffiti and titles and different fonts, I guess. It's a really good base for making content, so it's been a good inspiration. So each one of the songs has its own symbol. For instance, Up in Flames has a sort of cartoon flame sign, and Princess of China has a different one, and you see some of the images within the graffiti, and we wanted to replicate that within the content as well. So yeah, I think most of the content has come through that, but we liked a lot of the content to look. Also, I should say that originally the content came on a laser cone. On our festival tour right at the beginning, we had this cone that was a kind of with a laser projection from behind it, and it was a cone shape. So the graphics looked like they were spiraling up and down tunnels. So when we replaced the laser cone with a screen, we wanted to keep that idea there. So a lot of the graphics we've used are spiraling tunnels. So they kind of look like there's a bit of depth, which works with how the screens are, because the screens are hanging there. You don't really see, when it goes dark, you don't really see the frame of the screen so much, so it's as if there are tunnels. But then a lot of the content that I made was to do with animating stuff we already had. So the big piece that I did was was Paradise, and what we did was we took stills of the graffiti that Paris had drawn on the back, and sort of animated it in time to the music and made certain parts of it come alive. And that was the same type of idea, basically.
The Xylobands are wristbands with LEDs in that are interactive, so we control the Xylobands during the show. They flash, they essentially make the audience become a part of the show, so it's an interactive experience basically. We bring everybody into what we do. Everybody gets one, and they come on at certain times during the show basically. We just control the flash patterns and the way they flash and where they flash and the colours that flash, and so basically they're intelligent, we can tell them what to do. And you'll see in the show tonight, obviously they're going to look pretty cool.
We have a little over 1,000 pieces of pyrotechnic devices. Each is designed for close proximity use for being close to the stage and close to people. What we're doing is what we kind of call bookends. We have pyrotechnics at the very top of the show and at the very end of the show. It's a little bit different than your normal concert you'd see with pyrotechnics all over the stage. The band loves bigger, better, more. But they don't want it to look like everything else. So we just tried to give them something big, colorful, dramatic, and different.